Hey guys, rxlyaT or Taylor here, and today I'm back with another Division vendor reset. It's Saturday, so all the vendors reset within the Division. As always, we start down in the terminal. This week the blueprints are a snub-nosed rhino, a Model 700, firearms backpack, a firearms vest, a small grip, a compensator, and a performance gear mod. Over at Camp Clinton, we have a Super 90 blueprint, an ACR, a firearms vest, a firearms backpack, an MK4 M5A2 scope, and finally a performance gear mod again. So this week I'm not actually going to go through all of the exotic. I had this comment last week and it was highlighted to me that it's actually a waste of time because most of the time they're useless. But if we have a good exotic, then I will point it out. And that's where we're going now. We're going to start with the weapons, and we have a fairly decent exotic back in the terminal. So at the special equipments vendor in the terminal, we've got a really nice pecan here, rolled with predatory and destructive. You could pretty much use this in any build. With predatory and destructive, it would be quite good for a striker build, but you could easily roll predatory off for vicious or something like that and it'd make a great PvE weapon. So that was a pecan in the special equipments vendor in the terminal. Still in the same vendor, we actually have a nice tactical ACR as well, with determined, meticulous, and competent. Reroll meticulous for something like talented or destructive, and it's a great all-round ACR. At East 53rd Street Dark Zone vendor, that's a nice lightweight M4 here with ferocious, swift, and prepared. Reroll swift for destructive, and it makes a great PvE weapon. Certainly not the best, but if you are looking for a lightweight M4 and don't currently have one, then I'd recommend picking this one up. So that's it for weapons this week. We're now going to have a look at some gear pieces. The first piece of gear is in East 31st Street checkpoint. Here we have a really nice vigorous chest. It's rolled high on stamina at 1258 and it has enemy armor damage and skill haste with ammo capacity in the minor attribute slot. You could literally keep this as it is, and it is a perfect vigorous chest. So that was in East 31st Street checkpoint. The second and last piece of gear this week is actually in DZ02 safe room. Here we have a nice inventive bag. It's got health rolled on it and disrupt resistance. Here I would probably keep it the same if you wanted to roll off a main stat, or roll off the major attribute for skill haste, and you could definitely make it work. This would actually work really well with tactician, especially in the upcoming global event, but I'm going to have a video on that anyway. So yeah, this was in DZ safe room 2. That was it for gear, unfortunately, only the two pieces I could find. I'm now going to do some gear mods. Starting at East 46th Street Dark Zone vendor. Here we have a really high rolled prototype firearms mod, rolled at 263. The major attribute is 2% all resistance. So if you're after one of these, then this is a perfect week to pick some up. An East 42nd Street vendor, that's a support station healing speed. If you don't have any of these and you run a reclaimer, then I highly recommend some of them. Like I said, this was East 42nd Street Dark Zone vendor. At East 40th Street Dark Zone vendor, there's a max roll stamina mod here, 267 on the stamina, and then 2.5% exotic damage resilience. This was East 40th Street checkpoint. Buy some of these, especially if you're after the EDR bonus. In the firewall safe house, there's a first aid ally heal here. If you don't have any of these, buy them. 6% is the best you can get, especially if you want to run that support. These are always handy to have in your stash. This was at the firewall safe house. So at the gear vendor in the base of operations, we actually have a prototype electronics mod. Unfortunately, it's really low roll at 234, but it does have the 1% crit chance. So if you don't already have one of these, then it might be worth picking up. As well as that, there's also an electronics purple mod here, 205 on the electronics, and it has 3% damage to elites. Unfortunately, it's not the 4% damage to elites, but again, if you need some of these, then it might be worth picking these up as well. Both in the gear vendor inside the base of operations. And finally, we have weapon attachments. There's only one weapon attachment this week, and it's in the DZ09 safe room. Here we have an extended magazine with 116% magazine size, 4% crit hit damage, and 4.6% rate of fire. Highly recommend these if you don't have an extended mag, or you need some with rate of fire and crit hit damage on. We also actually have this Omega rifle suppressor, pretty decent for assault rifles. It's got headshot damage, crit hit chance, and accuracy on it. But yeah, they're the only two this week, and they were inside the DZ09 safe room. So yeah guys, that's it for this week. As always, if you enjoyed this video, then let me know either by leaving a comment or by clicking that like button. And if you're new around here and want to stay up to date with all of the things The Division, then please make sure to subscribe. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.
Back to West.